Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to go through another live trade with you guys. This is actually my entire day on Monday trading. So January 31st, I traded pretty much all day. I traded SPX and I traded Tesla. The reason I was kind of around all day is because I was day trading SPX. So because I was day trading SPX, I did have to kind of keep an eye on where the stock was. I will say that I made around $23,000 on the day. I took a loss on Tesla, and then I believe I took all my other plays were with SPX. So I took one play with Tesla and the rest with SPX. I'll double check that when we go through the videos. So like I said, this was on Monday, all of my Monday trades. I did end up taking a loss on Tuesday. I took about a $6,000 loss on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I pretty much broke even. Not broke even, I was red on the day, but not that much. So on the week right now, so I'll probably post this tomorrow, which will be Thursday the 3rd. On the week right now, I'm probably sitting at around $15,000 or $16,000. But this was just Monday. Monday was a great day to trade. Market was giving really good overall sentiment in anticipation for a lot of the tech earnings that were coming out this week. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, market was a little iffy, especially today. Today market was so volatile, it was very choppy. And then again, yesterday market was pretty choppy and volatile as well. So I ended up taking some losses. So on Monday, the market had overall really good sentiment. There was a lot of direction in the market, so it was very easy to trade. Also in anticipation with a lot of the tech earnings that were being reported this week. I think Amazon is reporting tomorrow, Thursday, February 3rd after close. So the market was really choppy today and yesterday, I think, in anticipation for Amazon's earnings. So once that comes out, I do think we'll get some more direction in the overall market. So that being said, as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, comment down below. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I do want to say is that I had my totals messed up. I actually ended up making around $32,000 on the day, not 23. I forgot about this last trade that I took with SPX towards the end of the day, which pushed my total up to $32,000 on the day. So I do apologize about that. Again, like I said, I did take a loss on Tuesday and today, which is Wednesday. So again, I'm probably still around that $25,000, $23,000 range for the week, including my losses. So I had to break this down into 3 different files because how my recorder thing works, it doesn't record it all in one file. It only records 3 hours, and obviously the market is open for a lot longer. So yeah, as you guys can see, so this is the last video here, and at the bottom of this video you guys will see like the date and time here too, but it's towards 4 o'clock, so you can see, and these were all my fills on the day. So you guys can see here I traded just Tesla and SPX. So SPX I did day trade twice and then scalp one time, and then Tesla I ended up just trading twice, and I gave back pretty much the gains from the first scalp that I took on Tesla back on the second scalp that I took on Tesla. So let's go ahead and take a look. So the first thing that I'm going to show you guys is my game plan for the day on Monday. So I had Netflix, Tesla, Facebook, Google, AMD, and Amazon on watch. All of these 3 right here reporting earnings that week. Netflix was coming off of earnings, and then Tesla had a price target increase on it. Tesla, I was watching for calls above 837, puts below 845. Those are my initial entries at open. So let's go ahead and take a look at 131. Okay. This is 131. So you can see I did call both of my, my first Tesla play I called. The second one that I took a loss, I didn't call that one. And then I called my SPX day trade. So let's look at Tesla first. That first play on Tesla. So I'm going to pull up, so this is a scalp. I'm going to pull up Monday's chart here. This is 131. Okay. And then, like I said, it was a scalp. So I was watching it on the 1-minute time frame and the 5-minute time frame. Okay. So like I said, my initial entry was above 873. Let me double check that. 873, and then puts below 845. So if we set a level here at 873, and 873 was my level, my initial entry level, because it was the pre-market high. Okay. And it had touched 873 right at open, you can see here, but it was not able to break above and pulled back. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I was doing then. So I think I entered right at the break of 873 and got caught in that pullback that you just saw. So you can see here, I'm pulling up Tesla's chart. It's 933 now. Actually, I didn't get caught in the pullback. So the pullback happened, I think. So I get filled here at 934 on Tesla. Okay, bought the 880 call, and the price I got filled at was 28.78. So I filled in at 934. So I filled in actually a perfect fill. I did wait for it to hold above the 873 level. You can see here, I entered at 934 here, so it held 873. This was the pre-market high. I apologize. So this was pre-market, pulled back at open, and then came up. This is a really high probability play. Nice little pullback down to its EMEs and VWAP, and then a bounce back up and a break of that initial level that you're watching. I entered at 934 here, and let's look at what my targets were on this. So my initial target was 880, it looks like, and then the second target was 890. And this was a really quick scalp from what it looks like. It looks like it was a couple minutes, so from 873 to around 880, and then 885 would have been a level, and 890 because they are psych levels. So, whoops, let's go ahead and take a look. The chart may not come up, so on IB sometimes the chart takes forever to come up, and I only got filled partially, so you can see I didn't get filled all the way through on that. So I only had 5 contracts on Tesla. I was looking to buy 10. And I only got filled for 5. Okay, contract is moving up. Like I said, I think I exited some of this at 935 and then the rest at 936 as it started to reject the 880 level here. I'm sorry, 885 level here. So 880 was my initial target. My second target was 885 and then 890. So at this 935 candle, it broke past 880, had decent volume at open, and then right at this 936 candle, you can see it was kind of struggling until it continued back up. On the 5 minute, it's a lot cleaner here. So this was the candle that I entered at. And let's see where I exited, because I actually don't remember where I exited this. All right, still in. Premiums were actually not moving that well on Tesla. Even though the IB was pretty decent, IB percentage was 79, premiums just weren't moving as much as I had hoped. So at this point, it's broken my first target, approaching my second target, and it was struggling to, the bids were struggling to hold that 885. So while I'm in Tesla, I do enter an SPX position as well that I end up day trading. So you can see here I entered my SPX position as well as it was breaking that level that I was watching above 44.30, and I was in Tesla at the same time. So this is Tesla's 880 call chart. Still looks good. Up about $4 on the premium here, and it's around 936. So 936 on Tesla was this candle right here. So it looks like this candle was approaching that 885 level. Like I said, Tesla was struggling on level 2. The bids were struggling to hold every psych level on Tesla, and you can see that even on the 5 minute, it did have multiple pullbacks, but overall trend of Tesla on the day was bullish. I don't remember exactly when I exited this trade, so let's take a look. All right, 937 now. On that 937 candle, again, doji candles here, so there was some indecision between buyers and sellers. This is what you call a doji candle. I think I've gone through it before. It's when the open and the close of the candle is pretty much the same. Usually signifies indecision between buyers and sellers, which obviously there was, because there was on both of these candles a little bit of indecision prior to the stock continuing up. So I do think I got out on the spike of this 937 candle. So I like to sell into strength. So as the stock is making or approaching your next level of support or resistance, the best way to optimize your profits is to get out on the push up or push down, because that's when the premium also spikes. And I've mentioned this multiple times before. It's better to do that than to wait for the next candle to open. When you wait for the next candle to open, sometimes it opens red, the premium pulls back with the stock, and you're not gaining, you're not optimizing your gains that way. So some struggle here. 938. Wow, isn't this a lot longer than I thought it was? All right, so the 938 candle is this candle right here. So again, doji candles, so signifies indecision between buyers and sellers. My next target was 885. After that, 890. My ultimate target on this was 890. I did think that Tesla was going to hit all the way to 890. That was the psych level that I was looking for above that 873. And you can see that here. So I was looking for a move to 890 on Tesla from 880. And let's see. So I'm still in it. 938. Okay, premium starts to pick up here. That candle also at 938 started to pick up slightly here as well, approaching that 885 again. Struggled to hold on the bids at 885. I really don't remember when I got out of this, I'm not gonna lie. But this was a profitable trade, so I'm gonna forward a little bit of this. Actually, I don't want to forward it. All right, so now we're on the 939 candle. There you go. You get that push up here. Indecision on that 938 and 937 candles. From that 936 all the way to the 938 candle, there's a lot of indecision, but the 880s were holding on the bid, okay? So whenever you see candles like this, it's just signifying indecision between buyers and sellers. There's no reason for you to really exit that position. Also on the 5-minute, you can see that the 935 candle was very bullish, straight, nice, really, really strong bullish candle here on the 5-minute on Tesla, which can help you when you're scalping to pay attention to the 5-minute time frame as well, because you can see how much cleaner this looks. This 935 candle in comparison to the 5-minute, the 5 minutes worth of 1-minute candles over here, you can see that there's a lot of indecision, a lot of shakeout candles that people get shaken out of, versus if you're looking at the 5-minute, you could see straight bullish momentum, high volume on it, no reason for you to exit. I thought I exited this a lot sooner than I did, but I guess not. So let's take a look again. There we go, premium spikes, and I exit here, I think, as the premium spikes towards $35. And Tesla also was getting close to 885. So I exited there at 939. So I exited on the push up of this candle. Okay, hit very close to my next target. This is actually a really good example of watching the 5-minute and the 1-minute together and following your trading plan. So you can clearly see that I was looking for Tesla above 973, which was my initial level. I was looking for it to hold above 880 for a move to 890, okay? And that's exactly what happened. So entered perfectly, waited for the confirmation candle. This is your breakout candle, confirmation candle. Entry is perfect. And it moved all the way close to 890. I did see some sellers on level 2 at 890, which is why I exited this trade. And you can see on the 5-minute as well, nice, strong, bullish momentum. I got out on the push of this 939 candle, and I optimized my profits by doing so. Okay? All right, so the premium went from $28 to $34. That's a really nice premium flip. That's $6 almost, which is really, really good. And I made about $2,600 on 5 contracts. Okay, so I wanted to fill for 10. Like I said, I only got filled for 5, so that's also a pretty decent play there for just 5 contracts. All right, so while I was in Tesla, I did enter an SPX day trade. So you can see here I entered SPX at 935. My initial entry on SPX was above 44. So my initial entry was 44.35, and I did enter a day trade there. So let's take a look at SPX and what it was doing that day. So like I said, I entered this at the same time that I entered Tesla. So sometimes it can be a little bit risky to do that if you're not a if you're a newer or a beginner trader, I don't recommend being in multiple trades at the same time. I do recommend taking one scalp at a time, but since SPX I was planning on day trading it, I did see bullish sentiment in the market, so I was comfortable with holding SPX overall. And then on top of that, if we take a look at ES at on Monday, you can see that ES also had strong bullish momentum. It was trending above its VWAP. So I always watch futures, and what I watch futures for is to see if it's trending above or below its VWAP and how strong is that trend. Is it trending above the 9-day EMA? Is it kind of bouncing off of VWAP? If futures bounce off VWAP multiple times throughout the day, it tends to signify a choppy day. If it's a strong bullish move above VWAP and it's holding well above its 9-day EMA and well above its VWAP, strong bullish trend throughout the day, and then vice versa if it's to the downside of the VWAP. And you can see I always watch ES futures when I'm trading SPX. It's the index for it, so I always pay attention way more to ES than the NASDAQ when I'm trading SPX, because SPX will react way more to ES futures versus the NASDAQ futures, okay? Because that's the index for ES. All right, so like I said, my initial entry here was 44.35, and this account doesn't have any charts on it, so I apologize about that, but I think it's cleaner to look at it like this. Okay, so 44.35 was my initial entry on SPX, okay? So pay attention to that 44.35 level. All right, we're gonna zoom in here. So I entered this at 9.35. So let's take a look at what was going on at 9.35 on both of these. So ES here, this is a 9.35 candle here on ES. So you can see at 9.35, ES was holding well above its VWAP, and the VWAP, EMA, 9-day EMA crossed above its VWAP. So whenever you see your EMAs cross above or below the VWAP, it tends to signify a reversal in the stock, okay? So 9.35 candle was holding nicely above VWAP here. And then the 9.35 candle on SPX broke out of 44.35. Actually, it did not. So I entered this a little early. I got antsy on this. So you can see this is the 9.35 candle. It did not break out of 44.35. Again, if we look at the 1 minute, 9.35 candle did not break out of 44.35. Okay, so like I said, I entered this play a little bit early, but it was a day trade. I was confident in the overall sentiment of the market with anticipation, with overall anticipation of earnings, tech earnings. I did think that the market was going to be bullish. Also, I posted on Sunday on Instagram that almost every single stock could potentially retest, and on Monday that's what we saw. We saw a nice little retest on futures and most of the tech stocks prior to earnings. In anticipation for earnings, we usually do see bullish momentum in the overall market. So I was very confident on Monday that the market was going to make a move up, which is why I entered a day trade on SPX, and I have not done that before, and I don't usually trade. I don't usually do day trades. I just do scalps, but like I said, I was very confident in the overall sentiment of the market. Entered a day trade on this with a target of 44.50 and then 44.70. And my ultimate target on SPX on the day was 4,500 because the 4,500 strike had a lot of open interest and volume. So I did think that SPX was going to hit 4,500 if the market continued on the upside, which it did end up pushing past 4,500 towards the end of the day. So if we look here, this was a day trade, so I'm not going to show you guys the entire video because I just held it for a very long time, but I will kind of show you guys. So I did end up taking a loss on Tesla. I scalped it again and ended up taking a loss. It was not able to break the 900. And then I ended up locking most of my SPX around 10. So like I said, it hit my price target. My initial price target was 44.50 and then 44.55. So I was comfortable with... Actually, my initial target was 44.55. That must have been a strong resistance on SPX. And I love when I have my Discord here, like typing it, because I don't really remember exactly what I was doing. So this actually shows as a good way to see. So my target was 44.55, and then I locked most of it at 10.02 because it hit my 44.55 target. And then I was looking at 44.60 on my runners that I had left, and I exited those at 10.05. So a couple minutes in between those two, and I was comfortable exiting. So I want to just show you guys what SPX was doing at that time. So you can see here that I did end up getting caught in a retest, but like I said, this is a day trade, so we're not going to watch it on the 1 minute. We're going to watch it on the 5 and 15. I usually always watch my day trades on the 5 and 15 minute time frames. I don't usually watch anything on anything higher than that. But you can see how much cleaner the 5 and 15 minute look in comparison to the 1 minute time frame that I just showed you. Look how clean. So I'm going to set my target here. My target was 44.55. Okay, that was my first target. And then my second target was 44.70. And then that 4,400 for the rest of the day. And you can see how clean the 15-minute chart is all the way to 44.70. Very clean here. And then 5-minute clean all the way to 44.55. Really no reason for you to exit here. And then on top of that, ES was showing strong bullish momentum to the upside, was holding well above its 9-day EMA. And usually every 10 points on ES can be a potential level of resistance or support. So you can see very clean action here. Touched my 44.55 price target, and then same thing on the 15-minute time frame. So there's really no reason for me to exit this day trade. It was a perfect day trade. Very clean on the 5-minute and very clean on the 15-minute as well. So I'm just going to show you guys the fills too. So we're going to forward this. Like I said, I exited most of this around 10. So I'm going to forward. So in between when I was in SPX, I did take another Tesla scalp. So you can see here, I entered Tesla at 9.43 and I exited Tesla at 10.01. I got caught in a pullback on Tesla and I ended up giving back all the gains I made on Tesla for the day. So it's fine. I was pretty much break even in the first 30 minutes of the day. So you can see entered one Tesla play, paid. The second one, I ended up getting shaken out on a retest and I ended up taking a loss around the same amount. So now we're getting close to that 10.02. So remember, I exited SPX at 10.02, and SPX's chart always takes forever to come. I entered SPX at an average of $20.20 at 9.35, and the premium went up to almost $30 here. So like I said, around 10.02, it got really close to that 44.55 price target, initial price target that I had set, and I exited most of my position at 10.02, so you can see here. And I exited that at a premium of $28.50, so an $8 move on that premium, really, really good premium flip. I still had 5 contracts left on SPX, so the rest of those contracts I ended up exiting at 10.03. So again, this is your 15-minute and this is your 5-minute. This was the 10 o'clock candle into the 10.05 candle. So it was breaking out of 44.55. So I was comfortable exiting that position then. I could have honestly held my runners for a little bit longer to my second price target because you can still see very strong bullish momentum. SPX did end up flagging right here. So no reason for me to really exit this trade on the 5-minute. I think I was going back and forth between the 5 and the 1 minute, which is not good when you're day trading. And then again on ES, 10.05 and 10 o'clock candles were very strong bullish candles, high volume on both of those candles. So there was really no reason for me to exit my whole position at 10.05. But I did, like I said, I followed my plan. So you don't want to get over greedy. Whenever I've gotten over greedy, which is why I took a loss on Tuesday, I ended up giving back around $20,000 in profit on Tuesday on SPX because I got greedy. Whenever you end up getting greedy and you deter from your trading plan, for example, I had a price target of 44.55. I followed my price target. Once it hit 44.55, I exited it. If you deter from the trading plan that you initially set, you will end up giving back profits because you'll end up getting greedy. Oh, it'll go up a little bit more. Oh, it'll go up a little bit more. And you don't have any more price targets set. At that point, you are just in the trade willy-nilly and you're going to get greedy and you're going to end up taking a loss. I know because I've done that before. All right. So let's watch the rest of this. We're at 10.02. I'm going to forward this a little bit more to close to, oops. So like I said, I exited half of my, why is this doing this? Okay, so it looks like I exited the rest of my position at 10.03, not 10.05. So it was approaching that 44.55 level, and exited the rest of my position at 10.03, and I ended up making around $8,000 on that play on SPX. I didn't gain that much more on the premium because I didn't get out on the push up. I ended up getting out on a pullback candle, which is why I didn't really gain much more. I only gained 20 cents versus if I would have locked previously. That's why it's always so important to get out on the push up and not when it's pulling back. So if it's approaching your next price target and it's gotten very close, and you know time and sales is starting to slow down, the bids are starting to slow down, that's when you should kind of look to lock most of your profit as the stock is pushing towards that level, which is not what I did with SPX here, and I ended up giving a little bit back. But overall, really good trade here. $8 move on the premium from $20 to $28. Very good premium flip there. And yeah, so that was that play on SPX. I did end up taking another play on SPX above 44.65 because I did see it had room to 44.90 and then 4,500. So the 4,500 strike you can see here on SPX had a lot of open interest and volume in comparison to the strikes around it, which can signify that the stock could potentially hit those price points. Forward some of this to see when my next entry was. So it looks like I entered an SPX position at 10.08. So let's go ahead and take a look. I saw me exit SPX at 10.02, 10.03 level. So this was the 10.03 candle here, okay? The 10.03 candle pushed towards 44.55. I exited there. It hit my level. And then it pulled back right to my 9-day EMA. At this point, I'm watching SPX above 44.55 for another scalp to 44.60, 44.70, and 44.90 were my targets at that point. So if you're scalping, I'm only looking for a 1 to 2, 3 minute scalp. That's pretty much usually how I scalp. So it looks like I entered SPX here, so I was a little confused. I thought I only traded SPX day trades, but let's push this back a little bit. So I entered SPX at 10.08. So, and I entered SPX at 10.08 because you can see the 10.08 candle, 10.07 candle broke out of 44.55. 10.08 candle is your confirmation candle for entry. Okay. On top of that, you can see ES at 10 o'clock. The 10.05 candle was a strong bullish candle approaching that 44.55 level on ES. Okay. So entered at 10.08. I entered 44.60 calls, it looks like, or 44.50. So I entered 44.50s because the 44.50s had more open interest and volume on them. So I was comfortable entering those instead of the 44.60s, and they're slightly more in the money. So the premium is gonna move a little bit quicker. Okay, I entered at 24.40 at 10.08. So I entered at the break of 44.55. I did end up holding this for a little bit longer. So this was another day trade that I took on SPX too. So I entered, like I said, at 10.08, and I did end up holding it, it looks like, through this bull flag and a move to 44.70 because at this point it's around 10.25 and I'm still in the position. And this is your 10.15 candle, your 10.20 candle, your 10.25 candle. So I did get caught in another pullback here. I didn't get out at my 44.70 target. So this is what happens when you don't get out at your target. 44.55 was my entry. 44.70 was my target. I didn't get out when the stock hit 44.70. I ended up getting caught in a pullback. And at this point now I'm stuck in the trade because it's pulling back. And I think I just ended up day trading this. So you can see it pulled back really hard. My stop on this was 44.55 because the previous level that it touched was 44.55. So you can see here it can potentially come down and retest that level. And that's exactly what it did. But this was such a poor decision on my part, and this is what I mean about getting greedy. You can get caught up in pullbacks like this. I entered at 10.08. At 10.22, the stock broke out of 44.70. That was my target. And at that point, the premium spiked really nicely. I could have gotten out, and instead, I didn't lock here. I ended up getting caught in a really strong pullback all the way down to 44.55. And the only reason I held is because on the 5-minute, it held 44.55 all the way through. So when you get stuck on a pullback, one thing that I will say, when you get stuck on a pullback, what you don't want to do is watch it on the 5-minute. I'm sorry, what you don't want to do is watch it on the 1 minute. You want to watch it on the 5-minute. and you want to set your stop loss, and you want to see the stock hold that below or above that stop loss on the 5 minute. The 1 minute candle, if I had watched this on the 1 minute candle, I would have exited here. Okay, would have exited at 1047. When you can see on the 5 minute, it's just consolidating. None of these candles held below 44.55, and it's holding its 21-day EMA. On top of that, if we look at ES around the same time, so this is ES's chart here on the 5 minute. This is your 10. This is around that same time that SPX was pulling back. ES on the 5 minute was also pulling back here, but ES was holding its 9-day EMA really nicely, and then held its 21-day EMA really nicely here as well. Looks like I ended up holding this for a very long time. I held it. Like I said, because this was all holding 44.55, and I actually just I just walked away from my desk. I set an alert to below 44.55, but I just ended up holding the position, and my target on this was 44.70, and then 44.90 and 4,500 on it. ES was still holding, SPX was still holding this 44.55 level, and I ended up holding this for a very long time because it did not break out of 44.70 until 11.45, it looks like. So if we look here, so I ended up scalping it around that time too. So it doesn't even look like that I exited it. I ended up holding SPX all day. So I held through that pullback, okay? And look at when I exited SPX. So this is, I walked away from my trading desk. This is why the rest of the recording was just blank, because I locked my trading desk. And I ended up scalping SPX when it was breaking out of that 44.70 at 11.51 to 11.54. So this is your 11.50 candle, so it held above 44.70. So I actually took this whole candle as a scalp while I was still in my day trade. And let's just look at the 15 minute, because I do remember I was looking at the 15 minute time frame when I was in this position on SPX. So if we look at the 15 minute time frame, look at how clean this 15 minute consolidation is, this 5 minute consolidation is. And then again on the 15 minute, it retested 44.70. I think I ended up holding SPX all the way to 4,500 because that was my daily target on it, because I didn't exit this play until 3:08. So if we look, I'm going to forward some of this. So right now it's 3 o'clock. So 15:08 right here. I was still in the position. So this was a scalp that I took here. So I scalped it above 44.70 from 11.51 to 11.54, but I was still in my 10:08s, okay? So look, I entered it at 10:08, exited at 3:08, okay? So I held this all day, and it did pay very well. And let's go see what at 3:08 what it was doing. So this was it touched 4,500. So this was the 3 o'clock candle. If we look at the 5 minute, this was the 3 o'clock candle. Got really close to 4,500. Was not able to break. So this is another example of getting out on the push up and not the pullback. So I was up, I think around like $18,000 or $19,000 on this day trade, and I waited until this candle to exit. So clearly you can see the candle, it pulled back very, very hard. SPX's retests are very volatile. It retests like 20-30 points sometimes, so you never want to get caught in a retest with SPX. You always want to get filled out on the push up or push down. I ended up waiting for this candle. I should have exited somewhere around here. It got very close to 4,400, enough for me to exit this day trade, and I gave back probably like, I think it was like $6,000 because I got out on this candle instead of getting out somewhere around here. Okay, so that's why you always want to get out on the push up, okay, as it's approaching that level, and it is a strong level. 4,500 is psych level for SPX. So whenever you get those psych levels, expect resistance and expect hard resistance, okay, hard retest. You should always get out as it's approaching the level, not wait for the next candle to open. And you guys can see I exited at 308. I'm not going to complain. I made a really good profit on this. The premium went from $25 at 10:08 to $39, almost $40 at 3:08. So this was a really, really good premium flip, over $10. I don't know how much is that. I can't do math. over a $10, $15 looks like premium flip on this. So really, really good play. It's just that the plan wasn't there ahead of time. The plan was kind of in motion as I was in the trade. As I was watching the trade, I did have a more bullish sentiment as SPX was holding 44.55, and that 15-minute consolidation was showing me that it is a strong bullish move. It just needs a break. It was just taking a break at that point. So I took another trade on SPX as it was breaking out of 4,500. So I did call this somewhere in the main chat. It wasn't in this upcoming signals chat, but I did call the 4,500 break on SPX. This play that I took on SPX that you guys are going to just see now, towards the last 10 minutes of the market open, a lot of volatility in the last 5 minutes, or last 10-15 minutes, and a lot of volume. So SPX, I was waiting again for the 4,500 break to enter because that was my original target on it for the day. It did end up breaking out of 4,500 towards like the last 5 minutes or so. So let's see when I entered this. Okay, so you can see here, whoops, I entered SPX at 1547, so 347. And if we take a look at what it was doing, so this is the 345 candle, okay, broke out of 4,500. So I'm going to switch it to the 1 minute so you guys can see the 1 minutes and what I was doing, because it was a scalp. It was towards the end of the day. Obviously, wasn't looking to day trade this. I entered this at 347, so I entered again a little bit before the break. Okay, I must have been really antsy this day. I don't know. But you can see here, I entered at 347 before it broke out of 4,500. Let's take a look at what ES was doing at that time. So ES, okay, it pulled back, came back up, okay. This is your 345 candle on ES. Pulled back, nice little flag here on ES, and then push up here on ES, SPX. As I saw ES breaking out of 44.50, or sorry, 44.90, I took SPX because ES was breaking out of 44.90, and actually posted this on my Instagram account, on my trading account, a breakdown of this trade the same day. I entered SPX because ES was breaking out of 44.90, so I felt comfortable in SPX making the move up. And you can see here, made a strong move up. My target on this was 44.10. Usually my targets on SPX is 5 to 10 points. Nice bullish move here. Like I said, this was probably an 80% scalp. For a scalp to gain 80% on a scalp, it's a very, very good high probability trade that you could have taken. I exited this trade at 351 as I saw some pullback at that 45.10 candle. And so you can see here, premium was so volatile. Hopefully this shows you, look, premium was so volatile towards the end of the day. It went from like $6.10 down to like $5, then back to up to $12. It was crazy. At one point, the premium doubled in like 10 seconds. So hopefully you guys are able to see that. And I was in the 4,500 calls. So you can see how the premium was so volatile, dropped all the way to $5.70. So at some point I thought I was going to get smoked. Okay, this is 348. So I'm about in the trade for about a minute so far. The volatility was insane towards the end of the day, but that's what caused me to catch such a big percentage gainer towards the end of the day, because of the volatility. And it was 0 DTE on SPX, so 0 days to expiration. You're going to get a lot more volatility in the premium. And the last 10 minutes of it open, yeah, I didn't think about that before I entered this trade into the last 10 minutes. So I really liked recording this day. I had a good trading day. Pull yourself back, like take a step back from the trade and look at the bigger picture. I took a step back. I looked at the 5, I looked at the 15-minute, and I looked at ES's 5 and 15-minute. And overall sentiment was still bullish. I didn't get shaken out. Look at this premium. Insane move. I didn't get shaken out of the trade because it was pulling back or because it was consolidating. I was able to hold the trade, turn it into a day trade from a scalp, turn it into a day trade, and make a really, really high probability trade off of it. So look at how much this premium doubled in like a minute. It was insane. So I'm really happy that I was able to, like I said, I'm like, and watching this back is crazy because I should have exited when it doubled there. I had 100% gainer on this. I didn't exit. This week, I will say, my trading has been very off because I've been getting very greedy. I'm not gonna lie, like this whole week, like I'm up 100%. I don't know why I didn't lock it there on this candle. I was up 100% and I ended up locking it on the pullback of this candle. And I, like, still, it's very good percentage gain here. I gained 80% on this, made around $8,700 on it. But overall, like, come on, 100% on a scalp. Should have exited here. Yeah, this is just raw trading for you guys. Like I said, I'm literally not perfect. Like, we all take trades and sometimes we get lucky and sometimes it's really, really the type of trader you are and how you keep your emotions in check. That's a really good example of keeping your emotions in check and not getting shaken out of your trades. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and yeah. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't forget to comment down below and hit that like button. Also, if you'd like to see any video suggestions you guys may have, go ahead and comment down below as well. Like I said, I will continue to post these live trades if they're helpful for you guys. And yeah, there's a lot more content coming out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!